All right, well, welcome back, everybody. My name's Andrew, and you're watching the Kelley's Country Life. So if you're a regular viewer, you know that I recently released a video talking about, well, we're swapping up our cabinet style in the house. If you're new to the channel, this video is going to be about lilyann cabinets. I'm going to start this video off with my actual review of how I went through with the company. We actually designed our kitchen, ordered a set of cabinets. I'm also going to explain how I wound up with another set of cabinets right here. So if you're not interested in the review portion, I challenge you to listen to it. It's actually an exciting story here. But if you're here just to see how the cabinets themselves go together, how they look down in the video description right here. We're going to put 3 cabinets together today on this video. So it's going to be a relatively long video. We're going to do a base cabinet, a very large, what they call a Lazy Susan cabinet, and I want to go ahead and put a wall cabinet together so you can see 3 different styles of how they assemble. So real quick to the story and what the heck is going on before we actually get into assembling these cabinets today. So a lot of y'all know that just a little while back, my wife and I got online and went with lilyann cabinets for our kitchen cabinets for this house that I'm building right here. By the way, I had no affiliation with them whatsoever. They were recommended by a friend. We got on, we did their 3D designed rendering, which by the way, they provide for free with one of their salesmen. And long story short, we ultimately decided to go with them for their cabinets. Now, I'm going to put a video up right here, and I'll also include it at the end of this video for the original review and the original cabinet assembly. Different style cabinets, so that's what they call their builder grade cabinets. Today, we're actually going to be doing a higher end cabinet here on assembly. I'm not even sure if there's any differences or if there's major differences, but feel free to watch both videos and hear the first review. So long story short, we went with lilyann because you got 3D design. We could actually walk around and look inside the kitchen on a computer before we ever ordered anything. They did a free PDF layout. You know, here's the size cabinets that you need, some stuff, basically give you a cabinet plans that you can go back and verify at your space or verify with your architectural plans that you have. But one of the biggest reasons I wanted to go with them was price was awesome, beating the big box stores by far. The other biggest reason was all of their cabinets are made out of plywood. So their cabinets either have some sort of solid wood, plywood, but it's none of the particle board MDF in the actual cabinet structure itself. I cannot stand that. That's what you see at a lot of the big box stores. That's very cheap material that breaks off. If it gets any moisture on it whatsoever, it swells up, it falls to pieces, and it just does not last. I was adamant that we were going to get some sort of cabinets that was plywood at a minimum or solid wood if it's offered it, and lilyann does offer that. All right, without rambling on too long, if you watched the last video, hey, I was honest. That's the way I am on this channel and the way I always intend to be. I do not want to mislead a viewer at all. And we had some issues with some hardware. So I chose to assemble the cabinets myself. It saved me about $1,000, plus it qualified me for free shipping. That's also something they offer. I should mention that if you get flat pack cabinets like this, it's free shipping over $2,500. And if you decide to have them assemble your cabinets, which they'll do, you have to order over $5,000 worth of cabinets. So I chose to save the assembled price, do it myself, make the content for YouTube, and we went with a lower grade cabinet that didn't qualify for the full $5,000 assembled free shipping price. So freight was going to be added in that. Well, like I said, I was honest in that video. The whole process went relatively smooth. Cabinets were delivered in the time frame promised. The 3D software was a really cool feature to add on, allow us to work with the salesman there and keep working back and forth, making some changes that we want. But whenever I started putting the cabinets together, we had some bracket issues, some screw issues, basically the hardware that comes to put them together. So like I said, watch that video, check that out. So long story short, a few days after posting that video on YouTube, one of the family members actually found it and seen it. They reached out to the owner, Bill Decker of lilyann Cabinets, who then contacted me probably about 5 days after that video was posted. So here's where things get really interesting. The owner himself contacts me and I'm thinking, okay, well, I was honest. I mentioned some problems, things in the video. How's this conversation gonna go? He was thrilled, absolutely thrilled. Kind of took me by surprise. He owned the hardware mistakes that was going on with the packaging, explained about that style cabinet. I did not realize the cheaper cabinets that we purchased from him, the builder's grade, he said there's 1% of their sales, very low turnover rate in the warehouse. He noticed in the video that I had some older brackets that they used, again, due to that turnover rate, and he challenged me on something right here. So he said, I would like for you to do something if you're interested. I would like to send you out our higher end cabinets. Now they're higher end cabinets. Here's your benefits that you get. You get soft close hinges, much better quality hardware. Supposedly they assemble a little better. We're about to find out, I have no idea. Solid wood doors, the quality of wood's even better than what we had. A little bit better designs. The list goes on and on. It's just a better quality cabinet. Yes, it does cost a little more, but still, from the prices I'm seeing online, it's cheaper than the big box store cheap stuff, and you're getting a really high-end cabinet here, supposedly. So it was an offer I really could not turn down to get a new kitchen set. He asked me to make some new assembly videos, which is what we're going to do today, showing off basically their flagship line, what the true bread and butter of the business is, and it kind of sounds like where the time, attention, and focus goes. So hopefully we're going to see that in the quality of the product today. And he said, keep your video exactly like you did last time. Keep it honest, just do exactly what you've done. And I told him on the phone that I will always keep my videos honest, and I appreciated him respecting that and noticing that in the last video, even me calling out their flaws, because you, the viewer, deserve that. If you spend your time and attention watching my videos, I want to make sure I'm getting you quality content and honest content. So I told him straight up, I'll accept these cabinets, but if the assembly doesn't go correct or there's issues or whatever it may be, I'm going to be open and honest with you. I'm going to share it on this video today. So take that however you will. Keep in mind you can watch the original review video to where we paid out of our pocket for that. This company had no idea at the time that we had a social media platform. We made videos. It was just as if you went and ordered yourself, and I made an honest review. It was after that video that I was contacted. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to give you a walkthrough of what's going on, and then we're going to put some cabinets together. So this is all of the cabinets that I have already assembled. This is called the Madison Toffee, and again, it's their builder grade cabinet, which ultimately means you don't get the true solid wood door, but you still get the nice plywood cabinets and everything else I was telling you about. You get a little bit cheaper drawer slides and hardware. You don't get the soft closed doors, so basically, it can slam on you, although it does come with nice adjustable hinges. So there's supposed to be a lot of upgrades in this new style cabinet. So I also forgot to mention the Charleston Toffee is the color that we're upgrading to today. That's their nicer cabinet. I'll put a link down in the description of the video if you would like to go check out Lilyann Cabinets. Now this is one of the base cabinets we're going to install right here. So it comes with all your slides and the hardware. I can already tell it looks a significant different than the last cabinet. So it looks twice as thick. And it's supposed to be soft close, so we'll check all that out. Here's the rest of your mounting hardware. All right, so here's some of our pieces to put our drawer together. Now these instructions do look slightly different than the last ones, but typically they're 1 to 2 pages. So I just want to show this. Not only is there a significant difference in the thickness of the drawers, a lot more weight there, again, solid wood fronts. But this is the difference between the Madison Toffee builder grade and here's the Charleston Toffee. You can see it has a lot more glazing and detail to it as well. All right, so here's some of the mounting hardware. The brackets themselves are relatively comparable to the other cabinets we put in, but I can already tell you the corner brackets are night and day difference. These are steel, whereas those were plastic, and these do not have a raised piece, something I was concerned about with the other cabinets because we're going to do granite countertops. The other ones had a raised piece with a screw hole in it that looked like it was probably more for a Formica countertop. Now that could have been modified and changed for granite, which I was planning on doing, but I'm assuming a builder grade cabinet, they're probably expecting a Formica or butcher block type countertop, whereas on a higher end cabinet, looks like these are nice flush brackets, which they're probably expecting you to do something more like a granite countertop. All right, as far as tools go for assembly, it's very straightforward. I've kind of learned a few lessons having already done one set of cabinets, but wood glue, absolutely critical. These little brackets that these things come with are probably not going to support a fully loaded cabinet. You absolutely use wood glue. Wood glue, if used correctly, is stronger than just about any other form of connection, from screws, nails, you name it. This is ultimately what you're depending on here. What the brackets really do is help hold all the pieces together until this sets up. So don't skimp on good quality wood glue. So the next thing, just some sort of drill. I'm actually using an impact driver, but it is adjustable for torque, so I don't strip these small screws out. And I highly recommend you get a magnetic bit. These little screws tend to not really want to hold on well. A magnetic bit helps. Also, the longer the bit you use, the better, because I'm finding as you're using this drill at odd angles on a flat surface, if you use a short little drill bit, you can't quite get to the screw correctly because, well, the drill itself is hitting things. The longer the bit you get, the less steep of an angle that you have to approach the screw at. And although I did not have to use it much on the last set of cabinets, some sort of rubber mallet or a non-marring mallet will help put some of this stuff together, but I have found the majority of it slips together just fine by hand. Now, one thing I can notice right off the bat that is a significant difference from these cabinets and the builder grade cabinets is there is an actual like dovetail groove right there. So it looks like these cabinets will have to slide in once you place the wood glue. Whereas the last cabinets, you just drop the piece straight in, screwed your brackets on. Now this may make assembly a little more difficult, I don't know. But one thing I can tell you, that's going to be a much, and I mean a much stronger connection than the last set of cabinets, where two pieces basically just laid on each other, you trusted some tiny screws, and you hope that the wood glue set up properly, which it should have. This is a night and day difference on construction and assembly here. Now I can see why we have just these little brackets. You just about don't need them when things slide together like that. So that's something new. I'm gonna have to learn a new technique here. All right, just like the last cabinets, you start with the actual frame itself. Run a thin bead of wood glue down these grooves on both sides, because ultimately the sides come next, then the bottom, and you work your way through. And a lot of people asked me in the last video, was the back side finished like the front? It is not. It is actually routed out and rough, which is what you want whenever you're putting two surfaces together with glue. A slick surface will not allow things to bond properly. All right, so we'll take this bottom piece, which has that what appears to be a dovetail groove on it. We'll slide it in and work it all the way down. All right, I can already tell I'm gonna like this assembly so much better. So now instead of using all these little brackets that was required on the last set of cabinets, you had to constantly be screwing those in, working with things, hoping this piece didn't fall over. So now having everything that's routed out and joined the way that it is, as soon as you slide the piece in, well, you're technically done. It holds itself up. I can move on to the next piece. That I already like a lot more. A lot less screws, a lot less brackets, and that's gonna be a much better connection. Now you can see these grooves right here that go all the way around. That's for your bottom to slide in. So again, just shoot some wood glue into that and we'll pop the bottom in. All right, now this just drops right in. All right, so there is grooves on either side here to actually hold this together. And as you can see, it is grooved and routed out on these filler pieces too. I can now see what the owner was talking about and why he wanted me to try these. They've paid a lot of extra attention here to routering pieces out to slide together. It's a much more simple fit. And I'm not, again, in here doing hundreds of screws and brackets on over all the cabinets. I like this a lot better. All right, now it looks like this is one of the few places you'll actually use a bracket right here. So on the underneath side, right here, we'll screw these two pieces together. All right, as far as the back goes, again, just put glue in the groove all the way around. And we'll take this back piece with the attachment board. You'll typically screw through this into the wall, facing to the outside, and slide it down in here. Now, a situation like this is where a rubber mallet will come in. All right, now we'll flip it over to the front, and this looks like a good time to go ahead and put the toe kick in. And you'll notice it is two different colors, so make sure the proper cabinet color side goes to the outside. And just slide it in these grooves like everything else. Now I'm assuming this comes with some more of these brackets that it attaches to this toe kick here, just like it did the back piece. I can't see that in the instructions, but I don't see anywhere else in the instructions that these type of brackets are used. So I'm putting them in underneath here because this toe kick is going to be loose until the glue sets up, because it's just got a straight router joint here, not an actual dovetail joint like you see holding the rest of the pieces together. All right, so now is a good time to go ahead and install these hinges, and I'm telling you, there is a significant night and day difference on the thickness, what appears to be the quality, and again, having that soft close hinge here, there's no comparison between this set of hinges right here and what come with the other set of cabinets. All right, so as you can see, those brackets are installed now, so we can go ahead and put in the full assembly. All right, now's the point that we can take all four of these corner brackets and install them to really lock this thing together and allow this glue to set up. All right, so now it comes time to put the drawer together. And if this is like the other ones, it's a breeze, not much to it. So you'll see that this has a dovetail type construction, so it snaps right together. It's a very strong joint, holds glue well. So all you do is fill these cavities with just a dab of glue. Obviously the drawer is deeper than it is wide on this cabinet, so we'll put the long piece out this direction. Take that joinery, slide it right in. Very simple. This is where you will need a rubber mallet. Now we'll take the back piece, do the same thing. Fill these three joints with a dab of glue. Now you want to stop at this point because we have to slide the bottom in these routed out grooves that go all the way around. So I'd like to flip it over and go ahead and fill all three grooves. Now we'll take our bottom and slide it in. And just repeat. Now this last piece will actually snap in, locking everything together. So just fill up both sides with some wood glue. You're good to go. All right, so this is a new step for me, these special style latches. So there's already pre-drilled holes on the bottom to where these latches go in. All right, let's go try this out. I have never tried this style slide and mechanism before. That was simple, so very simple. Very smooth, and I'll admit I really do like the soft close function. That was something I was kind of regretting not getting on the last set of cabinets. Oh, that's very nice. Very, very nice. All right, lastly, we'll take this door. I can tell a huge difference here. All solid wood, very thick and robust compared to the last set of cabinets. Not that there was anything wrong with those doors on those cabinets. I still think that's a heck of a bargain over there, but I can definitely see the differences. All right, and the last thing to install will be your door. It is pre-drilled on either side depending on which swing that you want the door to go, and it's very straightforward. Now these are also supposed to be soft close. Let's see. I'm gonna like that a lot, I do believe. So that's it. I will say I like the installation and assembly of these cabinets far better than I do their builder grade series. The joinery, the dovetail joints, the way everything holds together, gets a good glue joint. I feel like this is gonna be a much stronger cabinet here. And yes, I think I am in love with the soft close. I'm so glad that we're gonna get that on a cabinet now. I think that's a feature I definitely want. And as far as the hardware goes, especially for the drawer sliders, night and day difference between the Builder series and this series right here. Let's move on to another cabinet. All right, so the next cabinet that we are going to put together is called a Lazy Susan. That's one of those very large corner cabinets that has a small doorway or frame that kind of accordions out and basically gives you a lot of very deep storage. Now, I don't have the little spin around racks in there. I don't even really know what they're called to make this a true Lazy Susan. But what this will give us is very deep corner storage, kind of where you would put things that you don't need so often because, well, you have to reach way back in there. Now, I'm not going to go over this in as great a detail and mention every single thing that I just mentioned in the last build. So you may want to rewind a few minutes and watch that. And I'm talking about glue here, screw there, all those minor basics. But we will go over the major details of putting this cabinet together. All right, for starters, this is your frame. They have to flat pack ship it, but it needs to go together this direction. So it's pre-drilled right here on each end for some wood screws, also pre-drilled on the other side. Very hard to mess this up. So if you'll screw these two together, keep in mind the flat finish side is where your door is going to go. This back side has the grooves, so just make sure you're screwing both sides together for the grooves to accept all of the cabinet shelving and exterior walls. Okay, just as simple as that. Now this is one of those cabinets where it probably would be best to have two people, especially the way that this joins together. But ultimately what I'm gonna do is put some wood glue in that groove right there, and then we'll slide it straight down over this side panel piece right here. This would be a good time to go ahead and put the other side piece on, it appears. So I can see where flipping this over probably would have been a better way to do it, but pulling this frame up actually worked out just fine. Just get the top nice and flush, and ultimately make sure the bottom's flush as well. You want to leave this opening for your toe kick. All right, so the next step is going to be installing the bottom of the cabinet that goes in this routed out groove all the way around. And there is a little tip and trick that I learned building the last two that'll help you out if you're doing this by yourself. So the instructions say to go ahead and put this piece in. The problem is it's sitting out here in no man's land, no support, no nothing, and it wants to pop and fall out on you, and it makes it very difficult to actually attach. So I have found out if you go ahead and put your toe kick together, this one's slightly different than the last cabinet. It just so happens it is the perfect height to give you the cabinet support that you need. This one actually looks like it has a long extra piece for cabinet support to be built in. So yeah, that's exactly what happens here. This piece comes on out and gives you full support, and Now your toe kick will support the entire bottom shelf. So, hey Lilyann, if you're watching, I would move this step of installing your toe kick back as one of the first steps before you ever put the bottom in. It really helps hold and support that bottom shelf. So let me go ahead. You see it's got 2 pre-drilled holes. All I'm gonna do is attach these 2 pieces together just like that, and we're ready to go. Now on the back side of these pieces, they're pre-drilled for a bunch of these little L brackets. I also see pre-drilled holes in the cabinet sidewalls itself, so might as well go ahead and attach this. All right, so now I'll go ahead and put wood glue all the way around, and I might as well go ahead and put it on these pieces as well. Much easier to do that now. All right, so I went ahead and skipped steps and did all that. So when we put this piece in, it's now supported, not falling back out on me. Just makes it much easier to work by yourself this way. All right, so now we'll go ahead and put our side pieces on. Now, because I did do this a little out of order, since I'm working by myself, there's that bracket right there. I'm gonna go ahead and screw into the side. Typically, this entire unit would be flipped over per the plans to install stuff the way that you did. But don't forget, I wanted to go ahead and get that bracket and support underneath. All right, so it looks like now is a good time to go ahead and install your back piece right here. It does have a routed out groove. This goes to the inside and top for a top brace that we're gonna install. So we'll go ahead and put some glue on it while it's in this position right here. And like you just see me put on the sidewall, this is pre-drilled for some wood screws. It's just hard for me to get over there and grab the camera and show you, but very, very obvious. All right, so now it's time to put the last side on. Very straightforward. Pre-drilled holes here. We'll put some wood screws in here. Just run a quick bead of wood glue, done. All right, so now I've got the cabinet flipped over because the directions are showing that we're gonna install a bunch of these brackets all the way around to really support the bottom floor. All right, so I got the bracket screwed in underneath just how you seen that I placed them. No point in recording all that little bit of screwing in. Now's the time you want to go ahead and get your shelf set in there, because once we put the last brace in up top, you can no longer get the shelf installed in this. Yeah, maybe you might could, but now's the time to put it in. So just find out whatever height that you want, insert these little plastic clips, not much to this. And then let's go ahead and install this shelf. Now, one of the last pieces we're going to put in is a brace. Now we'll go ahead and say the instructions do show inserting this a little earlier, but I found with the last Lazy Susans that I put together, it goes in just fine at this point. I've got a few of these little brackets left. This looks like the spot where they need to go. All right, so our doors already come pre-assembled with the center hinges. We just need to install the 2 outside hinges. So, all right, to install these doors, there's already 2 pre-drilled holes at each notch out where the hinges go. Now I can already tell you there's a significant difference in this hinge compared to the last one. They look similar, but the last ones you had to put a magnetic clasp over here and screw a magnet or a plate onto the door. These actually latch and hold on their own. I like that a lot better. All right, well, that's about it for the Lazy Susan. It's ready to go with the exception of I still have to install the corner brackets up top just like I did on the other cabinet. That's very straightforward and self-explanatory. There's 4 corners for these to screw into, then it's ready to go. All right, so for the last cabinet that we're gonna install, we're gonna do a full height wall cabinet. And by full height, I mean we want our cabinets to go all the way to ceiling, so we got the 42-inch cabinets. They do make a shorter version as well. And because we did not have a glass front cabinet on the last install, I thought I'd go ahead and pull one out of the box that does have a glass front. We only have 2 cabinets this time that have glass front for showing off dishes. Everything else is solid front, just like the doors that you've already seen me install on the base cabinets. All right, so this is looking quite straightforward again. Same routed grooves. Go ahead and throw a bead of wood glue down and slide our side panels in. Seems like every single cabinet that I have done all the way up to this point, you start with the frame, you start with the sides, work your way to the bottom, back, and any hardware that needs to be mounted. All right, so it doesn't look like you can really mess this up. Just slide this router grooved in. The only thing you have to watch is make for sure that the shelf holes are obviously on the inside and not the outside. All right, so now the bottoms go in. Now the only difference here is you'll notice on the bottom, you've got this lip right here. I believe so you can actually mount it to the wall and run some screws through that if need be, but it's a bottom lip of the cabinet that goes down and up. It does not go inside of the cabinet. All right, and now it is time for the back to go on. All right, just like on all the other cabinets, just put some of these screws in these pre-drilled holes. Okay, then the instructions show to take these corner brackets and put in on the front face frame for reinforcement. Now the reason you're doing the front, not the back, is because, well, we just shot wood screws in here and glued this as well, so this is quite reinforced. All right, so I found these wall cabinets by far the easiest to build. That's it, straightforward, and this one already come with the doors installed. Even if it didn't, that only takes just a couple more minutes. So all that's left to do now, put your brackets in, put your shelves wherever you want them, and that's it, it's ready to go. Once we get all the glass and everything cleaned up, I think that's gonna be a really good looking cabinet right there. All right, so I accomplished what I wanted. Did all 3 types of cabinets, from a big corner cabinet to a base cabinet to a wall cabinet. Now, I have different variations of all of those, but they're all gonna go together practically the same. So let's do a review and a follow-up here. Now that I've had the opportunity to do both styles of lilyann cabinets, the builder grade, and I'll just call it their high-end grade. I don't know exactly what they call it, but the bulk of their business, as the owner explained to me. I can say there is a significant difference in the cabinets. Like I said, the thickness of the doors, the thickness of the drawers, those being absolute solid wood, you can feel the weight difference. You can look at them and tell the difference. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like the extra stripe and glazing. I think I do, but ultimately we're gonna let Tiffany decide that once she comes home, gets a good look at these cabinets. Now, what I'm really liking more than I thought that I would, well, all the hardware. It's much better quality than what you get on the builder grade cabinets, especially the drawer slides. Oh my goodness, they're 3 times as beefy. I love the soft close more than I thought that I would. Soft close on all the hinges is nice as well. Now, with that said, builder grade still comes with fully adjustable hinges, drawer slides. Yeah, they look a bit cheaply built on that, but at the end of the day, no matter which style cabinet you're going with, my number one thing is you're getting actual plywood built cabinets here, all the way up to solid wood as you've seen here, but plywood boxes is what I'm mainly talking about. You're not getting none of that cheap, I mean cheap particle board stuff that the big box store has. I can't stand that stuff. I've seen so much of it go bad in my lifetime. I knew I never wanted cabinets built out of that type of stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I can say I am very impressed. Out of all the cabinets I've opened thus far, I still have a lot more to go. They've all been packaged very well, not a single scratch. That was the same way on the builder cabinets too now. I'm shocked that they can ship stuff like this via freight and it arrive in the condition that it does. And the joints, the joinery, the dovetail joints, all these router joints, that is giving you so much of a better built cabinet. And I did pretty much everything with my hands today. A lot less screwing, a lot less brackets compared to the builder series. And I really feel far more comfortable about all these dovetail joints sliding together and getting extra contact with wood glue. You got to keep that in mind. When you have 2 pieces of wood that come together with wood glue, they're just getting that one area of contact. When they actually cut a dovetail joint, you're getting 3 sides of contact for wood glue, plus just the joint itself is holding itself together. Much better quality built cabinet without a doubt. So I want to say a big thank you to Lilyann Cabinets for sending these out. This was an honest review, y'all. If I'd have found more problems, I would have told you. So take that for what it's worth. Feel free to watch my other review. Again, those cabinets were bought and paid for with our own money. Lilyann had no idea that we had a YouTube or Facebook account. So that was all pre getting to try out these higher end cabinets right here. So a big thank you for that. I think we're really gonna enjoy these in our kitchen. So what's coming up next? Well, I've got to put the rest of these cabinets together tomorrow. Wasn't gonna record it, but I think I am because I'm starting to stage cabinets in the kitchen. It'll give you a good layout and we'll probably do some time lapse and fly through installing them. Then toward the end of this week, we're mounting cabinets on the wall. That's gonna be really exciting. We're putting the kitchen together. Can't wait to figure all that out. Plus I have some tools in mind that I think I'm gonna build to help me out here do it as a one-man job. So thank y'all so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Ask any questions that you have. There's a link down in the description if you'd like to go check out their cabinets. And again, a big thanks to Lilyann for sending these out for me to do these assembly videos and try these out in our home. Y'all take care.